Now, remember last time when I came, I told you I was nervous and my knees were knocking and everything. And it's very quiet. Not nervous at all. I mean, I'm really not nervous. I'm okay. So, anyhow, so today, the sermon is called To Tell the Truth. So, hello everyone. Hello. Now, what comes next is 3 little words. It's only 9 letters, and it can have a very big impact on your day, your time, and what you're going to do. A lot of times we say these words, or we say them to others, or they're said to us, and most of the time we automatically say something without thinking. These 3 little words are, how are you? What's usually, every time somebody says, hi, what's the next thing you say? How are you? Now, when somebody asks you, how are you? Again, we usually say, fine, okay, good, whatever. But the question is, are you really? Are you really fine? Sometimes our response is so automatic, we don't even think about it. And one time somebody asked me, actually when we were coming into church, how I was doing, and I was just about to say good, and it's like, no, I'm not good. I just was tired or something, I can't remember what it was. And, we're not, people ask you, and of course they don't need your life history, but if you're not feeling fine, share that, Why are we so afraid of letting people know how we really are? Are we hurting physically, spiritually, emotionally? Are you just tired out? Are you worn out? Are you frustrated? Sometimes we don't share because we don't want to bother other people. You think that, they really don't care, they're just asking. Or are we being prideful by not saying if something is wrong? Or do you just don't want people to know that you're human and you may have a problem? Since Adam actually, in the garden, there's been about a gazillion people on the earth, in which only one person I know of is perfect. That was Jesus. So the odds are very much with us that we will have problems and we won't be perfect, okay? So it's all right to share with others. There's nothing to be ashamed of if you need help. We don't need to tell everybody our whole life story, but it's okay sometimes if you're not feeling right, just to say, just pray for me. You don't have to go into it. Now, for most of the people here, except for Josh and Joseph and Jesse, remember the show on TV called To Tell the Truth? You remember? Okay. There was a panel of 2 or 3 movie stars, and there were 3 contestants, 3 or 4. And the stars were told they could ask the contestants items or questions. And a lot of times, the contestants, there'd be 3 of them, but only one of them was a real person, like a woman that was the greatest motorcycle champion in the world, or something like that, okay, or bull rider or something. And the stars had to ask the contestants questions. And so at the end, the stars had to try to figure out who was really telling the truth. Well, and the contestants at the end would choose who they thought was, and the contestants would stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down, then the real one would stand up. So sometimes it takes us a little time to admit the truth too, okay? Even sometimes it's to ourselves we don't admit the truth. In Proverbs 16:13, it says, "Kings take pleasure in honest lips. They value a man who speaks the truth." So when you ask others to be prepared for two different versions of an answer. Okay? They may say to you, "Okay, I'm fine, doing great, whatever." You know, just the same thing as we say a lot of times. But then it may be different. It may be a long story just to listen to them. Like, "Hey Joseph, how are you?"
Oh, well, I'm really glad that you asked, actually. You know, the other day at work, I was trying to pull this cart out from this overhang, and there was a bit of statuary behind me, and it actually caught me right below my ribs. And, you know, as an end result, you know, I didn't sleep very well that evening.
That's too bad.
And,
Okay.
you know, probably broke a rib. But, like, speaking of breaking things, you know, my Aunt Gertrude, well, she's, you know, a nice lady, trying to clean up trying to clean up the nursery, and, you know, tripped over a rocking horse, of all things, actually. Broke her foot.
Goodness.
You know, and as a result, she's kind of, you know, going to traction. And,
While you're listening, you're
Uncle Jack is
thinking,
gonna have to-
"What are we going to have for lunch today?"
If you could only pray for me.
Oh, I think we got to stop at Shaw's on the way home because I can't remember. And I can't remember what we're going to have for supper and who's coming over. But let me, oh, really? Yeah. And tomorrow at work, I have to make sure I bring that paper for the lady. Okay. So, if you ask someone how they are, be prepared to listen. And don't ask if you're not willing to spend the time or the effort in listening. Don't ask if you're not prepared to listen. James 1:19 says, "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." And part of the spiritual gifts in 1 Corinthians 12:28 says that those able to help others, that's part of a spiritual gift, are those who are able to help others. And sometimes we can just look at somebody and tell that something is wrong, or at least I can do that. It's just, you know, be prepared, be ready to share with them, to talk with them. A few weeks ago, Greg had shared that a lot of people go to a therapist to be heard and to get things off your chest. They ask God for wisdom for our response when we are talking to someone. If they have problems, be ready to listen. Remember not to be judgmental, but to listen. And we always don't have to put our 2 cents worth in. Okay? Be ready for what God has for you to share and what is going to help these people. Sometimes just listening to them makes a difference. Sometimes they have no one else to listen to or pay any attention to them. And when you listen to others, you are showing that you care. And most of all, that they are important. So sometimes they just need to talk, just to get things off their chest. It may not be the world's coming to an end for them, but just to talk. And we've said it before, that the church is a hospital. So what better place for healing and being ready to work with people than coming here? And I mean, you do it out in the world too, but I mean, to be prepared to share, be prepared to listen. And just to be, just to really listen and to pay attention to what they're saying. And this all started when I heard on the radio the song Truth Be Told by Matthew West. And I think Paul, through his miracles up there, is all ready. So we are going to play this song. Pay attention to the words of the chorus and the words, And afterwards, if Rod and Doris will be ready, if anybody wants to come up for prayer,